Coming up next on Safety and Awareness Today. We'll talk about things that are available to safeguard our schools.
And we can reach 75 parents in a minute.
Plus, riding your motorcycle in the winter used to be unheard of. Not anymore.
I take them all over the country.
Then, I get my very first lesson in ice skating.
Knees bend slightly, and you're just going to do little tiny marching steps.
Safety and Awareness Today, sponsored in part by Dream City Mattress.
One of our greatest resources is our children, and we have to trust their well-being to another group at times. One of those times is when they're at school.
I think the first responsibility of the school is to educate the students and make sure that the program they're getting meets each of their individual needs. The second thing, with everything that's going on, throughout the world and here in our communities, is safety. We're responsible for the safety of every student that enters our building.
Yeah, and that's really become a growing challenge. Education is a challenge all unto itself. And now schools have been almost burdened to some degree with this multitude of tasking on safety. What are some of the things that you can do to keep them safe?
Well, our district has building level safety committees. We also have a district level safety committee, and we have a set of protocols for a variety of emergencies that could happen in a district. And then we do scenario training, so our staff is trained in a variety of scenarios. We do drills and practices on a daily basis throughout the school year, whether that be fire drills, lockdowns, lockdown no responses, bus drills, evacuating buses, evacuating buildings. We have the students practice. The other thing that we do is we have single points of entry that have now been locked down, that have cameras at those single point of entries with a buzz-in system.
Well, we started out last year. We've had a lot of discussions about the camera and about the security here at our elementary building and throughout the district. And the parents are very concerned, and we're very concerned about the safety of the children here. And so the board investigated the buzzer system and the security system, and we had those installed over the summer. And we've received a lot of positive feedback from parents. They're very pleased with it, and they're happy with the system, and they're happy that the children are in a safe environment.
Once the visitors come and they get cleared and buzzed in, then there's a badge system. They go to the office, they get a badge, they have to sign the book. They have to state the reason why they're in the building.
Now, where do you get to see who's coming in? Where's that filmed?
Each secretary has a monitor, and on that monitor, when the doorbell rings, that person's face will appear on the monitor.
So right there in the office for each building, they have a monitor to that camera.
Correct, and it's right on their actual computer screen.
Okay.
So their computer screen serves two purposes, their workstation as well as a security monitor.
All right. Does it therefore retain that image on the computer like a tape would?
Yes, yes, we can retain the image.
So if the person has a second thought and decides they want to go, you have their picture already.
Yes, we do.
Oh, I like that.
So they can retain that image.
Yes, I like that. Then when they get in, they go to the office, and because they were seen by the secretary in the office, she knows to expect somebody. If somebody's not there within a moment or two, then there's a problem.
Yes, and what we've done is all of our secretaries' offices have been moved to the front of the building, so they all have windows onto that front door as well.
Okay.
So,
now, along with all of that, I hear that there's a phone system now where you can actually contact all the parents too. What's this all about?
well, we've implemented a mass communication system throughout the district, and that system hooks to this mass communication system.
All right.
So if there's an emergency in the district, what we do is I have it programmed where I call a number and I leave a voice message, and then the mass communication system seeks out our school student data and will call our students and call our families up to 75 calls a minute.
All right, now you can call from a cell phone or a landline, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I could be in Albany, I could be homesick. As soon as I get the call that there's an emergency, I plug in the number, and then it evokes the system to begin working, and messages will go to the parents and will only it will only leave a message to an actual voice. It won't leave a message on an answering machine.
Do you get any printouts? Is there any way that you can find out what it did and who it reads?
Yes, there's reports. You can see who picked up their phone, who never got the message because we tried all of the numbers on there and no one picked up. We can tell how many calls were picked up, what time they were picked up, and who picked them up.
Oh my goodness.
It's very exciting.
That is impressive.
Exciting.
I think that you've done an incredible job seeking this out and putting this program together. And I thank you for taking some time and sharing it with us. Yes, the best of luck to you, and may good education and safety just fill the hallways of your building.
Thank you.
Okay, wonderful.
Coming up on Safety and Awareness Today.
Riding your motorcycle in this area in the winter used to be unheard of, but not anymore.
Safety and Awareness Today, brought to you in part by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
See these beautiful bikes? You can ride these beautiful bikes in the middle of winter, because these bikes can be transported south so that you can do so. And it's done by Brian Morris.
I take them all over the country. I go to Myrtle Beach, I go to Daytona, I go to South Dakota for Sturgis out there. I'm out by Rapid City, Sturgis out there. I can get upper 20s to real low 30s, depending on the configuration, how many big dressers I have, and you know, all bikes are different.
In the old days, you wouldn't be able to ride your motorcycle in the winter. Now, Brian and his crew at Wild Wind Motorcycle Transportation can load up your bike and transport it wherever you want to go.
I usually give them 9 to 11 days. I get them up here, we load them up, we take them down there, they fly in, their bike's sitting there ready to go, they have a good time, they bring it back, I load them back up, and they show up back up in New York.
That's it.
That's pretty much
They
all.
take an airplane down.
Yeah. Once people try it, they're impressed with it.
Brian has shipped bikes all over the country, but there are a few places he hasn't been yet.
Some people like to go long distance, some are short distance. A lot of the long distance one would like me to try to put something together to go somewhere different. And I'm talking about the Grand Canyon, and same thing, they'd fly in, all the bikes would be there, and they'd be there for at least a week.
Okay.
And they can ride somewhere totally different, you know?
Yeah, see, 'cause I'd like to do that one. I'd like to put my bike on the truck and go out there, and that would be great.
Yep.
I mean, and then you just ride to the other end of the Grand Canyon, basically, and you're going to be there, and you're going to have the truck, and we load them back up.
Correct.
This truck isn't a normal tractor trailer. Most of it had to be customized by Brian's brother, Nathan.
He's helped me reconfigure things, and every time we try to make it a little better, a little easier on us. We try to do a great job for everybody. We don't want to do a really good job.
Because you've got some real unique, custom-made parts to this truck to have this happen.
A lot of expensive stuff.
A lot of expensive stuff.
Well, we've loaded up all the bikes at our first location and headed off to the second pickup spot.
Got my chips cashed in, keep track.
On the way, Brian explains some of the equipment that is used to keep the bikes in perfect condition.
What's this little sock thing I saw being used? Who makes those?
Well, my mother made them for me. I went to Joanne Fabrics. I bought coat lining, and I was strapping my bike down, and I was thinking, what would I want on my bike? And so she made a whole mess of them.
She made all these, and that's what keeps that chrome on all those bikes just as perfect as if it just came off the showroom. I love it. Now that lift in the back, that's incredible. Now I mean, that's just genius, the way that's designed, so you don't have to use ramps, and you can bring those bikes up and down. Who designed that?
My brother Nathan did.
And I'm calling it a ramp. A lot of truckers, they use ramps. That's really a hydraulic lift, just like an elevator. So those long, custom-made bikes, they don't scrape or anything. They just get lifted up into position.
Yeah, so you really got to watch it, because the bikes are getting longer. and longer, and you never know what you're going to run into.
Yeah, and that really, and even that second bar that you guys just designed, that second bar, to tie them down in the back in a different way, so it really secures the custom-made bikes even more, doesn't it?
Right, when it's really tricky to hook them down, then we come up with that. So again, it makes us very universal.
Yeah, I've had a couple of the people have said that you are the best. You guys really do it first class. You take a personal interest in every single bike that goes on and in the truck, and they're going to arrive in the same exact condition as when they left.
Correct.
Now, you travel, you sleep in this cab, this becomes your home for the whole trip as you take the bikes down to Florida.
Yes, it does.
And you baby the bikes all the way down? Do you ever have anybody that makes the trip with you?
Once in a while, I'll have a friend that goes down. It's usually another trucker, so he can drive some too. Or,
Yeah.
And I'll put his bike on, and while we're down there, when we get done working, we have a good time too, you know?
Incredible. Well, it has brought, today was a bitter, cold day. And the whole time we're loading those bikes, all I'm thinking is riding in 90-degree temperatures in the sunshine. Amazing. All they got to do is get on a plane and meet you down there. This is an impressive way to continue riding bikes year-round. It's great.
Coming up on Safety and Awareness Today.
The number one injury is a bruised ego.
I get my very first lesson in ice skating. March, why am I not moving?
Looking for more safety and awareness? Log on to www.cnyhomepage.com.
We're at the Clinton Arena today, and thanks to the Clinton Figure Skating Club, we're going to talk to Terry Sullivan about ice skating, a sport for everyone.
Well, the wonderful thing about ice skating is it's never too soon or never too late to start skating. We have kids who, as soon as they can walk, step out on the ice. They've got parents who can help. There are all kinds of little stands that will help them.
Really?
Yep.
Like having safety wheels on a little bicycle?
Yep.
Oh my goodness,
We
that's
have
great.
one little student we use upside down little crates that are taped together, and he pushes along that. And then there are adults who said, I've always wanted to skate but never did, and we have adult classes where we teach adults too, people who are in their 60s and 70s, and they're actually adult skating competitions.
Oh my heavens, that's wonderful. And now you have adult skating competitions, I'm sure, nationally and statewide, but I mean here in central New York?
Yes, yep.
Oh, that's great. Excellent. Now, as far as injuries, if there are going to be injuries, what kind of things do we consider? What's going to happen? What are the most common injuries?
Well, I thought I knew the answer to this. The top of my head, I knew exactly. I've been skating since I was 2. That's a lot of years. And but I looked it up. I actually did a search of it, and actually I was wrong because the number one injury is a bruised ego. So the first and most.
I'm looking for that one today. Go ahead.
The greatest harm we have is who saw me just take that fall.
Okay.
But beyond that, what happens is typically bumps and bruises from parts of our body that aren't protected, your elbows, your knees, your hips, when you fall and you hit those parts. Unfortunately, especially for little kids who don't have so much muscle control, sometimes they'll bang their heads.
I was wondering about heads. So there aren't any helmets, though, really recommended?
Well, we do have in the basic skills program some children who come with a little bicycle helmet on, and they'll wear a helmet on the ice.
But normally your head doesn't hit the ice as much as your wrists, your elbows, your hands,
your
maybe
knees.
a twist in the knee.
The toe picks, when you're figure skating, you hit those toe picks and you go right down on your
down
kneecap.
on your knees.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. But it is an incredible sport, and you've been doing it for quite a while. Now, you teach not only individual skating and figure skating, but you teach team skating, or?
I teach groups. We have group lessons here through the basic skills. There's also, with most skating clubs, have a synchronized skating team where the teams all do choreography to the same piece of music. I am personally not involved in that, although we have 3 teams here.
Okay, well, it was quite a while ago, but I was an administrator for Potsdam school system, so I was submerged into some skating areas where there was a lot of hockey, but I've done no skating whatsoever. I'd like to find out what this is like with a little assistance from you, so let's go get some skates on me, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Now, you've picked out some skates for me. What's the process? I take a size 9.5 shoe, but these look like 8.5.
Right. It depends on the manufacturer which size you'll actually wear. So you might want to start around your shoe size, maybe a little bit smaller, and then go from there. And when you get the right skate, when you put your foot in, you're going to find kind of a snug fit and a suction to when your heel pops down.
Okay.
There you go,
there,
just like that.
Just like that.
You should be able to wiggle your toes, but not slide forwards and backwards within the skate.
Yeah, they wiggle, but they don't slide. Boy, it feels like I'm in a vice grip down here.
When you pull each lace, you want to pull it as tight as you can. The point of this being that you're going to take the skate and pull it as tight as you can to your ankles so that you've got the support that you're looking for. If they're loose, your feet will slide around. It's the difference like between wearing a tight sneaker to run in or slippers.
Okay.
Which would you prefer to run in?
I
Just need the most support and not a lot of moving around. People who say that they can't skate because they have weak ankles probably rented a pair of skates like this.
Okay.
So when you step on the ice, you're trying to balance on this and use your ankles.
Oh,
and this is a pair of skates that a rental skater might use.
Might very well use.
Versus this is also a rental skate, but it's got, you can't bend that no matter what you do.
Yeah, that's really rigid. That isn't going to bend.
So when you get a rental skate, if you're not sure you want to skate all the time, and you're just renting, you want to look for something that has good support. And also most facilities will have them nice and sharp, and these are sharpened nicely.
Yeah, they're sharp. There seems to be an angle on the bottom of this blade. Why?
Each blade actually has two edges, an inside and an outside edge, and if you look at it this way, you'll see there's actually a curvature. And there's an actual radius of how the blade is curved and sharpened.
Okay.
So that when you skate in this direction and lean, you're on one edge, and on the other, you're on the other. So you're actually on one edge or the other most of the time.
Same as the ones I've got on?
Yes.
So
the difference between hockey skates and figure skates is obviously the blade.
Yeah.
There's no toe picks on a hockey skate, and there are on figure skates.
You say no toe pick. The basic thing is there's no brake. What I got on has no brake.
You don't want to use these to brake, because if you do, you end up forward on the ice on your knees or your chin.
Oh, okay. So that's why we crash into the wall.
Yeah.
No.
We teach, in the first or second set of lessons, we teach you how to stop.
How to stop.
I mean, from this big, you learn how to stop. If you can't stop, you don't get past that first step.
Okay, good. Well, show me how to stop today. Well, let's go out on the ice and see what happens.
All right,
okay?
sounds good.
All right.
Okay,
Go ahead.
we're ready
Now.
to go. Now you got to put your gloves on.
But I don't have gloves. You have gloves?
Yes, I have gloves you can wear. You need to wear gloves because we were just talking about stopping and the importance of learning how to stop. Say you fall and the person behind you doesn't know how to stop and your hands are on the ice like this.
Yeah.
You
Somebody's
get skated
gonna
over.
skate over my.
Yes.
I want gloves.
Okay,
I want
I have
gloves.
some
You got
for
some
you.
gloves. I want gloves. I want gloves. Okay. I got gloves.
Coming up on Safety and Awareness Today.
I get my very first lesson in ice skating. March, why am I not moving?
Safety and Awareness Today, sponsored in part by Reels Lighting by Jody.
We've been spending some time at the Clinton Arena with instructor Terry Sullivan, going over some of the fundamentals of ice skating. Now it's time for my first lesson on the ice.
Okay, the first thing that you're going to do is put one foot on the ice and get a feel for your blade sliding.
That's...
Okay, then you put your other foot out.
That first feeling is just something else.
Okay, then you put your other foot out.
Hey! Okay.
Now what you're going to do is put your hands out here for balance, knees bent slightly, and you're just going to do little tiny marching steps.
Little tiny marching steps.
Yes. And then 2-foot glide.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I go down when I glide or just stay up?
Well, there's the march, and then there's a glide, and then there's a dip where we're teaching.
A dip.
Yeah, and that teaches confidence and balance on your blades.
Is that what that does? Mm-hmm. Okay. There we go. March. Why am I not moving?
Well, you're just marching now. You're not using your edges to push necessarily. And glide, dip. Good.
Again?
Well,
March.
We can talk about how to do an actual stroke of skating when you're using the blades. Why am I not moving? If you turn your foot out a little bit, and you push against the edges, that's what propels you.
Okay. So I turn.
I'll hold your hand. Turn your right foot out toward the boards.
Feel like the movie The Bishop's Wife. You ever see that on the ice? Yeah, that was a beautiful.
Push your feet back together. Turn your right foot out, your toe out. Okay, now bend your knees and just push your right foot back a little bit and together.
Oh!
That's what propels you.
Cool.
Now your left foot will do the same thing. Turn it out and back. Feet together.
Skating away, skating away, skating away on the thin ice of a new day.
I like this. This is nice. But boy, it takes some work though. I mean, my ankles are working, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. Safety and Awareness Today is looking for suggestions about areas such as sports, activities, or jobs where your safety or the safety of the community is involved. You can write us at safetyandawareness@cnyhomepage.com and let us know your suggestions, or just write us and let us know what you think of the show.